up, YouTube? I'm Zach Score with Phantom Customs, and today I'm throwing some skid plates on my 2006 TJ Rubicon. For those of you who don't know, I like to rock crawl. That means bashing rocks on the underside of your Jeep. That can lead to some pretty serious problems. A few years ago, when my dad was wheeling his TJ Sport, he came down on a rock right on his oil pan. Thankfully, it didn't bust open and leak oil all over the trails. We made it home. But when he went to change the oil, his drain plug wouldn't reseal. So pretty much best case scenario for busting your oil pan. But still, we don't want that to happen either. So how do we keep this from happening? Well, giant pieces of steel. That's how. So we have two different skid plates we're going to be installing today. This right here is the Fishbone Off-Road steering box skid plate. It'll cover that ugliness up and keep it from getting bashed. This one here is for the oil pan. This is by Teraflex. Now I got these both on Quadratech, so go ahead and check them out for pretty much anything you need for a Jeep. This is not sponsored, by the way. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Now the first thing we have to do when lining up the skid plate is find where these bolts are going to line up. Which you can see, it just bolts into the side of the engine block. So that guy is going to need cleaned out. And as well as that one right there. So let's get a wire brush into those. Alright, I got those brushed out. Next I need to remove these 3 transmission bolts here because it will use these factory bolts. Now these 2 on the ends on my Jeep, it's an 06, remember, this can vary maybe, I don't know actually, but they're 18s. This one right in the middle is a 13. So now I'm just going to time lapse through this. So I've got the skid plate held up and by one bolt right now, just started so I could get everything lined up right. You want to take your bolts, crush washer and regular washer, and get these the ones that go into the actual engine block on first. Now I'm just gonna time lapse this next bit. Now, we get our fancy new transmission bolts that came with it because they are just a little bit longer than the factory ones. It's hard to see here. Yeah, just a little bit longer to accommodate for that skid plate. Now, for some reason, mine only came with one washer for them. So I just grabbed some extra washer that I had, one extra washer that I had. And now this sucker lines up there, lines up here. We'll get these nuts on. For some reason, Teraflex decided to use 19mm bolts, even though the factory came with 18. So I just had to crawl out and grab a 19, but same thread as the factory because you just use the factory nut. But hey, that's a better angle anyway. We'll keep that. So, yeah, just snug this up, all real tight there, and do the same to the other side. Now we're just gonna finish snugging up these bolts right here, and then once I got this all tightened up, we're gonna grab our torque wrench and torque these suckers on. And boom! Torque done, that's installed. We ain't busting any oil pans around here, boy. So that was a way bigger pain than I thought it would be. Make sure you clean out those engine block holes really well. I should have sprayed some pea blaster or something like that in there, but I didn't. I don't know why. Because yeah, they were still rusty after that brushing. That brush did not do the job as well as I hoped it would. But anyway, moving on. Now it's time for this sucker. All right, so just holding it up there. I can tell we're gonna need to take out this bolt and that bolt right there for the bumper. And let's see, I'll show you here. So yeah, that hole lines up with that bolt, and then one of these two is gonna line up with that bolt there. So I already sprayed some pea blaster on this. And on the back side, I also used a brush, try and get some of that crap off there. I'm thinking we're gonna have to drill into my bumper. That's not gonna be fun. All right, so I got both these bolts out. This one in the bumper was a 19. Now, the bumper's aftermarket, so that very well could be different from what yours is. This guy, however, the stock one in the steering box, this long sucker, 5/8. Welp, looks like I am gonna have to drill into this bumper a little bit. Let's see how it goes. All right, I got that drilled out. I used a 1/4-inch drill bit first and then a 3/8. It kind of looks like crap, but you know, it'll work. I mean, it's just a skid plate. It'll be fine. And I got a million slivers, so I don't want to do any more. And boom, we got that bolt on there, nice and tight. Came with a lock nut. For some reason, so this bolt here that the kit came with is a 15. The nut was a 17. Whatever, it's fine. It's just annoying, but it's fine. It's fine, don't worry about it. Anyway, so we're gonna get these all torqued down. This guy right here, and then we're gonna be done. Well, thank you all for joining me on this another adventure. If you want to keep up with what I do with this Jeep, what I do with the Miata, hopefully I'll start uploading more than once a year, but we'll see. Thank you all for watching. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, let me know what else I should do with that thing. It's going to get a lift eventually, but probably not till next year. Obviously a winch. We got a long ways to go, but hey, it'll be a blast. So thank you for watching. Y'all have a great rest of your day.